What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the vlog. Today is a beautiful day out. Well, actually, to be honest, it's totally cold out right now. It is freezing, but I figured I'd do something a little different today. I want to talk to you guys about what's it like owning multiple vehicles and some of the things that you don't really think about when you own, more than one vehicle. A lot of this type of stuff you don't really think about. Some of it's common sense, but a lot of this type of stuff you don't really think about unless you actually have two vehicles. My name is Jeffrey. I do videos on my 2005 Jeep Grand Cherokee, which is listed in a project vehicle on the channel, and my 2017 Dodge Challenger RT. If you're new here, consider subscribing, liking the channel. It really would help out everything. So thanks, guys, for that. But I want to show you guys something really quick. Look at the boys. They are enjoying this weather. I definitely am not. Gear. Oh, he's gone. Alright, guys, so the big thing is, though, if you have more than one vehicle, there's some pros, there's some cons, and this is really kind of my experience, which I've learned over the last couple of months, because I bought this Jeep Grand Cherokee sometime last year in 2019. I want to say it was around August or something like that. I bought this vehicle, so I've had it now for a couple of months, and this has been my experience with owning two vehicles. So let's start with the bad stuff first. The bad thing is, though, the insurance. Now, in this vehicle, I just have normal liability. So in New York State, you can have liability insurance. That's if the car's paid off, you don't really want to pay for full coverage. So if something happens, your insurance, they won't really, if something happens and you total the vehicle, they won't give you the money for it. You usually only put liability on a vehicle that is paid off. It's an older vehicle. If something happens to it, you're just like, it is what it is. But I have liability insurance on this vehicle, and that's relatively cheap. On my Dodge Challenger, I have full coverage. I'm still paying that vehicle off, which hopefully I should have it paid off. That's what I'm really hoping for. 2020, have that vehicle completely paid off. But so in the meantime, I have that full coverage insurance, which I'm still gonna have full coverage insurance on it even after I pay the car off. But that is one of the bigger things, though. Even though since I bundled all of my insurance, even with our home insurance and stuff like that, it still was an extra cost. Now, the liability insurance for this vehicle is relatively low comparatively to the full coverage on the Challenger, but it does add an extra, I think it's like 40 or 50 bucks maybe a month. I think it's lower than that, but whatever it is, it adds it to the total bill. So that's another expense you don't really think about, but that's something that it definitely adds up. The other thing is the fuel. Now, for fueling, which I just filled up this car today, which I think it was around 40. Yeah, it was completely on E. I think it took around like $40 to $45 what I was just put inside this vehicle. And usually when I fill up the Challenger, it's around the same. Even though the Challenger I put in premium gas, in this car I put in just normal unleaded, just a regular gas inside this vehicle. Now, that is just part of the equation. The other thing is, though, the fact that sometimes when you have both cars, like literally when I got into this car today and drove it to work, I forgot I was really low on gas because I drove the other vehicle. So stuff like that you don't really think about. Is just when you jump inside another vehicle, you're like, wait, there's no gas in here. So you just have to kind of always remind yourself when you're driving, fill it up, make sure you have gas, you have all the stuff inside the car that you need. That's another small little thing you don't really think about, but it does play into everything. You just got to make sure that the vehicle is ready for you to use it. You can't just jump right in it. You always got to make sure it has everything that you need. Then now the other thing is the maintenance costs. Now, if you guys are if you guys been subscribed to my channel, when I bought this vehicle, I bought it relatively cheap, but I put a brand new transmission inside this vehicle, and I did a lot of other small little things here and there. That's one of the things. And even for the Challenger, which actually I'm gonna do a more in-depth video talking about what just happened, because I just had my first major repair for the Challenger and I didn't really talk about it. One of the control arms essentially broke, so I had to get that replaced. Now, just imagine that, having to do repairs on not just one vehicle but two vehicles. Granted, when I bought the Jeep, I didn't know the transmission was on its way out. Imagine doing repairs on two separate vehicles, trying to keep two vehicles up and running and make sure that they're in tip-top shape. For example, I know I need to get tires on this vehicle, which I know is going to be more expensive. I don't really want to do it, but I know I'm going to have to do it. But that is part of the whole thing. You have to do maintenance on two separate vehicles. I know this is pretty repetitive, but Stuff like this you don't really think about. You know, you just think about, oh cool, it'd be cool to, you know, own another car, it'd be cool to do this, cool to do that, but you don't really think about, you have to actually put, you know, make sure both vehicles are up and running, are inside good condition. Obviously the other things you got to consider is your registration, doing oil changes, getting, you know, your easy passes. I know in New York State we have easy passes to go through the tolls, or whatever type of toll systems that you guys have. Or if you have parking passes like for work or for school, you need double those. If you got to pay for 2 vehicles, you know, it's just a lot of these things, they just kind of add up. You don't really think about it, but it makes sense, but it just adds up. Other thing for me personally, because my fiance, her car is here as well, we only have, our garage only holds 1 car, and we can fit 1 car in there, but I also have all my workout gear in there, have other stuff in there, so I don't really want to leave a car in there all the time. And our driveway really fits 2 cars like right next to each other, and another car can fit right there. You obviously fit cars inside the driveway, but it's kind of a shuffle that you have to do. So if there's just 2 cars in this driveway, it's easy to just go in and out. We could both go in and out whenever. But with 3 cars, we gotta do kind of a shuffle and a whole movement thing. So just the space, a lot. Oh, look at my fiance, she just came home now. See, that's what I mean. Yeah, her car's right there, and we have this car here, and the Challenger's right there. So quite literally, anytime we need to get out, like we have to move that car, it's just a whole big shuffle. It's just a lot of stuff, getting all these cars moved around. But yeah, so that's like all of the real major, you know, negative things about it. But it's not all bad. There actually is some pretty good benefits of it. It's not all bad. There's some good to this. The good thing is though, 2 different cars for 2 different reasons. This car, snow, if you need to take stuff like, you know, packing stuff in the back, helping people move, doing any type of stuff with that. Stuff with the dogs, it's perfect for that. We can just, you know, take it out, move stuff, put the dogs in the back. The dogs actually love this thing. This thing is perfect for that. It's fun being up high. You can do so much stuff going off-roading, and I absolutely love this vehicle for it. And plus the fact that I don't really, you know, mind if this car gets dirty as much. As you can tell, this thing is absolutely filthy. I don't mind as much because this is what this car was meant to do. So that's the reason why, you know, like, I love this vehicle for what it is, and that is such a cool thing to have. For the Challenger, now the Challenger is a totally different beast. You know, whenever we want to go out, have some fun, back roads, drag strip, do anything else, and just have a blast, having a totally different vehicle, and it's a totally different feel. Now that's the one thing that I do love, that 1 minute I could be driving the Jeep, next minute could be driving the Challenger, and I'd get 2 completely different driving experiences, but they're both fun and they're both very unique, and that's something that I really enjoy. The other thing is though, for my fiance, now one of the other added benefits is, in case something happens to her car, we have 2 other vehicles that, you know, someone else can use, or she can use. Now this happened actually, what was it, maybe a couple months ago, maybe 2 months ago I would say. Her vehicle needed some repairs. The coolant system, basically one of the hoses kind of like burst, so her car was down for a couple of days. I was able to take my Jeep, and she was able to take my Challenger to work, so that was pretty cool. It's always nice to have an extra vehicle just in case if someone needs to use it. You're not stranded, or even just for yourself, if one of your vehicles go down, you do have another vehicle to use, which is nice. You know, that's a really nice luxury to have, and I know that it's not everyone can afford that luxury, but it is a nice luxury to have. So just in case something does happen, we have another vehicle. That is the reason why for the Challenger I did get it automatic. I know when I first got the Challenger, I talked about getting a manual versus automatic. One of the things I said about getting an automatic is that in case someone else needed to use it, we could still use it, and I didn't really have to, you know, like, I didn't have to solely drive it, and that's the reason why I purchased the vehicle. In case of an emergency, in case my fiance needed to use it as well, she could use it. It wouldn't be a problem. And that's kind of the reason why I got rid of the Project Mustang that was on the channel, which was the manual Mustang, which I sold, and then I bought the Jeep. That was manual. It was cool and all, but the only negative thing about it was no one else could really drive it. So, and it was kind of serving the same purpose as the Challenger, so that's the reason why I kind of sold that, and it made more sense to me to buy the Jeep Grand Cherokee versus having another like Mustang, which is essentially doing the same thing that the Challenger does, but just that was the older one. It was a V6, and it did everything just worse than what the Challenger did. So that's the reason why I sold that, and I bought the Jeep. So overall, you know, would I advise doing it? Honestly, for me personally, it's been working out great. especially in this living condition where we have some room for an extra vehicle. You know, if we have more room for more vehicles, I would probably honestly own more. If you are younger, I will say this though, it does get expensive, because just when one thing, you know, you could be taking care of one of your vehicles, then the other vehicle, something could go wrong. So it is a little bit expensive, just because you have to take care of the maintenance and the registration, all the other stuff. It does add up. But it is a nice luxury to have, well worth it investment, especially if you can have two vehicles that can do, you know, that serve two completely different purposes, instead of just trying to have one that kind of is a catch-all to do everything. Especially if you want to have a vehicle that's meant to do more fun things and another more practical vehicle, it is a nice option to have. Yeah guys, so like that, I'm gonna end the video here. So let me know in the comment section below, do you think it's worth it to have two vehicles, or do you think it's better just to have one that serves all purposes that you need? Let me know in the comment section below. But like that, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like this video, give it a like, check out my channel, follow me on Instagram, OmegaGreed, the same name as the YouTube channel. And like that, we're out of here, and goodbye.